So, ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you please to take your seats, and we'll kick off with the second session of this event. And this afternoon, I know after you've had, I hope, a very nice lunch, and thank you very much to our hosts from the Slovenian Railways for that. But I hope you stay awake. Because, and that's the role that Peter has now got as we move into the second. He's very brave, actually, being the host of this event and putting himself first after lunch, because, as we say in English, that's the graveyard slot, where everybody falls asleep after a nice lunch. But so it's up to Peter now to animate you all and make sure that you're all listening. As we move into the second session about cross-border cooperation, one of the things when you're trying to evolve or develop a network is to ensure you've got cooperation between a number of stakeholders, not only internally within the original network, but also, of course, across between entities and states. And in this session, we're going to be talking about cross-border cooperation, where we've got three speakers who are all going to give us a little bit of an overview of that. And we're going to start off with Peter Verlič. He needs no introduction because you all know who he is. So Peter is going to give us a little overview about green corridors in Southeast Europe. Peter, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Simon. Yes, I think that I will see after 10 minutes what is, well, it's really challenging to say green corridors, because as we discuss about railways and the infrastructure, I think that at the origin the railways are green. So it's only up to us how these corridors will be green, less or more. So it's not, but I know it's a nice word, and it's okay that we discuss about digitalization. This is new word, we know what it means, and I think that to all these corridors which European Union has shaped through the TNT corridors are green. Because as we saw from previous presentations, everything what will go in 5, 10, 20 years on the railways, it, according to the climate situation, should be green. And I'm really, how to say, convinced that the railway system will be the future backbone. So it's only on us, and now I'm speaking as a Southeast European Strategic Alliance, the network which we created 4 years ago, how we will shape this region into the European or to global network of corridors, of cooperation. This is, I think, we know about the opportunity. After that, on General Assembly, Blaž will present master plan, which we did 2 years ago before COVID, so that we can really start to discuss, to do something in the area. For me, it's a really great pleasure that the transport community is located in Belgrade, and Matej, I'm really glad that you are here, because I think this is clear also. We know now that we have support, and it's also support through UIC, through CER. I think that we have to do a little bit our homework also, and that is why we are here as a network with maybe small project or maybe big project, and then I'm sure that the finance will come on one way or another. But I would really go back to these priorities, which are known very well. SEESARI clearly defined pillars for cooperation together, and in the afternoon we will propose also some sort of strategic committees where we could find further ideas for the concrete project which could be transferred into reality. But of course we have to be network. And one of the priorities which we which I would like to show now as a practical example where we started as a SEESARI. One is this one, development of the high-speed rail network in Southeast Europe. And I will start with the historical map of UIC from 1974. That was so-called master plan for the development of high-speed railway network. And you can see in the whole Europe, not European Union, not Southeast, not North, but the whole, as a whole. That was originally proposed in 1974. And I still have the plans for the high-speed rail from 1980s. This is previous century, which was made by the Belgrade Institute of Traffic for the high-speed train, for the high-speed line, Ljubljana, Zagreb, Belgrade. But reality, we can see on the right side, is that we have two high speeds in Europe. West part of the Europe with speeds above 20 towards 300 kilometers. And then we got to the east where the speeds are, where the speeds of the trains are, how to say, decreasing, and they are what they are. I know that there is some sort of vision from the Commission that all the capitals of the European Union should be connected by train within the, how to say, normal hours. So maybe we have to discuss in the future not about high speed, but about the journey times. So maybe it's not important that we come to Belgrade in 2 hours, but maybe it would be competitive by cars, let's say, in 5 hours, and see how that we can transpond to the speeds. So it's really a challenge. And what I would like to say is that we, in our master plan, clearly defined some sort of technical parameters which are known for the high speed, which could be, well, 200 kilometers can be now also in the conventional line. The speed, I think that between Belgrade and Budapest is now this are going, of course, with all these digitalized green solutions, ETCS, GSMR, and so on. So with all that trains and infrastructure equipped with something which is interoperable with the Euro, or let's say also globally. And I would like to pay your attention to, we call it that BELT project. I think that the initialists create that in G4 meeting. I think that was between, so the belt, we say the high-speed belt, Vienna, Ljubljana, Zagreb, Belgrade, Budapest, Bratislava, and back to Vienna. What, I don't know how on the technical level or on the site what is now, but what I would like to raise your attention, I was in the meeting as I was invited as a SEESARI member, and we are now is formed the initiative of the mayors of the capitals of these cities to propose some sort letter of intent or letter of promotion for the project. There was intention to do that on that occasion in the European Year of Rail. and there was, how to say, ideas that would be later would be signed in Ljubljana during the presidency, but the space is still, the idea, I must say, is now on, how to say, on that mayor's level of the capitals, because they saw the potential to be, how to say, connected with high speed, especially because we saw these limitations with the flights and so on. So this is first practical, where we are all as a SEESARI member can contribute to that part of, I think, the story, and that can go also further on towards Sofia, Bulgaria, and to Greece. So this is what we can, what we have in mind. But I personally, I think that all the capitals in Europe deserves fair connections, which will be good for our passengers. So we are now traveling by car to Belgrade, 5 hours. I think that, you know, in the 1970s, the train, it was called Green Train. From Ljubljana to Belgrade, it was diesel train. In 1970s, it takes 4 hours at that time. So, sorry, I have no other answer than we have to do that if we would like to move the passengers from private cars to trains.